Usually when you hear a real estate pitch, it promises you granite countertops.
Right, maybe like a decent community pool.
Yeah, exactly. A community pool, a reasonably quiet school district. It's very grounded. It's predictable. And it definitely doesn't require you to, submit to the absolute authority of a cosmic guide.
No, usually not.
Right. It also doesn't usually demand $1 million in, quote, formless alms.
Or force you to pledge your life to survive the impending fiery collapse of human civilization.
Exactly. But today's source material, well, it isn't exactly your average zoning proposal.
No, it definitely isn't. I mean, when you step into this document, you are entirely leaving the mundane world of real estate.
Oh, for sure.
You're crossing over into high-stakes, apocalyptic visionary philosophy.
Yeah, so welcome to today's deep dive. Our mission today is to explore a truly bizarre, just fascinating open letter from 2018. It's a solicitation, and it's titled, "Help Me to Build a Paradise on the Earth."
Quite the title.
Right. And it was penned by a figure named Xuefeng, who introduces himself, right in the very first lines, as the guide of Lifechanyuan.
Right.
And he claims he's hailing from the 1,000-year world of heaven.
Which is just a massive claim to open a real estate pitch with.
I know. So our mission today is to unpack a document that somehow manages to combine this lofty spiritual philosophy with a highly specific real estate shopping list.
Yeah, and a total rejection of global eco-villages.
Exactly. Plus, this terrifying apocalyptic warning. So, okay, let's unpack this.
Well, to really understand what's happening in this text, I think we have to start with the architect himself.
Xuefeng.
Right. Because before he asks you for a dime or, a plot of land, he spends a significant amount of time establishing this incredibly unique resume.
He really does.
He doesn't position himself as a dreamer who just had an epiphany last week. He introduces himself as an experienced, battle-tested builder of earthly paradises.
Right, but wait, let me stop you there.
Sure.
Because his claims about his background are just completely wild.
Total.
He says he has spent 20 years writing the foundational texts for his movement.
The Chanyuan corpus and the Xuefeng corpus.
Yeah, and then he casually throws in that he has over 1,000 undeclared articles.
Right.
And these articles detail the exact, minute arrangements of life in an earthly paradise.
Right.
That doesn't sound like a resume to me.
What does it sound like?
Honestly, it sounds borderline manic. Are we supposed to take this seriously as an architectural proposal? Or is this just spiritual theater to overwhelm the reader?
Well, that's a crucial question. From a psychological standpoint, creating a massive literary corpus isn't just about sharing ideas.
Okay.
It's about establishing an unassailable intellectual moat. When he says he's from the 1,000-year world of heaven, he isn't just claiming to be a smart guy.
Right, it's bigger than that.
Much bigger. In his theology, he is asserting an ontological hierarchy. He's literally claiming to be an emissary from a higher dimension of existence. And by claiming he has thousands of articles covering every conceivable detail of life, he's telling the reader, I have already done the thinking for you.
Ah, so you don't have to worry about the details.
Exactly. He's saying the system is flawless, it's complete, and it's divinely inspired. It demands total submission to his vision because he has allegedly mapped out every inch of it.
But, he doesn't just rest on the cosmic literature. He claims he has actual physical receipts.
He does.
He states that over the previous 10 years, he and his followers actually built 9 picturesque Ganadu homes in mainland China.
9 of them.
Yeah. He essentially says, I'm not just drawing blueprints in the sky. I have poured the concrete. I have built paradise before.
But then we hit this massive central conflict in the text.
Right, because those 9 Xanadists, they don't exist anymore.
They are completely gone. According to Xuefeng's text, the Chinese government forcibly disbanded these communities.
And physically destroyed the homes.
Yes.
And just to be incredibly clear to you listening, we are solely looking at Xuefeng's claims in this document right now.
Right.
We aren't endorsing his view of why the Chinese government demolished these sites, nor are we taking a political stance on the event itself.
Exactly.
We are purely analyzing how Xuefeng uses that destruction within this letter to sell his next project.
Yeah.
Because he states very plainly that the government misinterpreted his group as a religious organization.
Right, which he claims led to the crackdown. What's fascinating here is how he weaponizes that failure rhetorically.
Yeah, because it should be a red flag.
A massive red flag. The fact that his last 9 projects were bulldozed, but he turns it into a badge of honor.
He really does.
He is fusing this cosmic authority with very gritty, frustrating, earthly experience. He's proving to the reader that he knows what it's like to source materials, to manage followers.
And to deal with the crushing weight of state authority.
Exactly.
It's like an architect walking into a high-stakes meeting with wealthy investors.
Right.
But instead of laying out a pristine, beautiful 3D rendering of a new building, he opens up a portfolio filled with photographs of beautifully constructed, fully operational buildings.
That have all been completely reduced to rubble.
Yes. And he points at the ashes and says, "Look at that craftsmanship. I know exactly how to lay the bricks. I just need you to buy me a plot of land where they won't get knocked down."
That is exactly the mechanism at play. He is using the destruction of his life's work as proof of his capability.
Wow.
It tells you, the prospective donor, that he has been tested in the fires of reality. He isn't naive.
But I mean, knowing how to pour concrete and survive a crackdown isn't enough to build an entirely new society.
No, it's not.
You need an ideological vacuum. You need people to believe that your way is the absolute only way.
Right.
And to create that vacuum, Xuefeng does something I found genuinely shocking.
Oh, when he goes after the other communities?
Yes, he systematically dismantles almost every other utopian experiment on the planet.
It's quite a list.
He starts by aggressively rejecting labels, stating point blank that his paradise is not a utopia.
Right. And he says it is definitely not communism as it is now understood.
Which, okay, shedding that historical baggage makes sense.
It's highly intentional. If he lets you call it a utopia, you'll immediately dismiss it because utopia literally translates to no place.
Right, it implies it's impossible.
Exactly. And if he lets you think of it as communism, you'll project the entire geopolitical history of the 20th century onto his project.
So he has to wipe the slate clean.
Yes, so you evaluate his vision on his terms alone.
Sure, I get distancing yourself from broad political theories, but he goes after the specific granular competition.
He really does.
He gives this incredibly exhaustive, well-researched list of alternative communities around the world and explicitly tells the reader that he is not them.
It is a genuinely impressive global tour of intentional living. He says his project is not Robert Owen's New Harmony Village in the U.S. It's not Oroville in India or Tamra in Portugal.
Yeah.
He names Damanhuri in Italy, Findhorn in Scotland, and Christi Diane in Denmark.
He even targets a massive list of North American communes.
Oh, yeah.
He explicitly lists Ideal Society, Twin Oaks, Dancing Rabbit, and Ananda Village. He is literally checking them off a list.
It's very thorough.
But why do this?
Yeah.
Why give your direct competitors airtime in your own pitch document?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if I'm trying to sell you a new smartphone, I don't spend 10 pages listing every feature of the iPhone and the Samsung Galaxy just to say, I'm not them. It seems counterproductive.
It seems counterproductive if you assume he's pitching to a general audience, but he isn't.
Oh, interesting.
By naming places like Oroville or Dancing Rabbit, he is proving that he is speaking directly to a hyper-specific niche demographic.
The people already know those names.
Precisely. He is targeting people who are likely already deep into the alternative living space, people who are actively disillusioned with modern society and are actively researching intentional communities.
So he's basically filtering his audience.
Exactly. Think about what a place like Oroville represents. It's famous for its spiritual, experimental approach to human unity.
Right.
But it has also faced criticisms over structure and internal governance. Twin Oaks in Virginia is known for its strict egalitarianism and income sharing, but it operates secularly.
Okay.
By listing all of these places, Xuefeng is signaling to this specific reader, I know what you've been looking at. I know you want the spirituality of Oroville with the structure of Twin Oaks, but you found them all lacking.
And I have the cure.
Right. Whatever itch those places scratch, I have the actual permanent cure.
He's poaching their target demographic.
He really is.
And the only exception he makes in this massive list is the Konohana family in Japan.
Yes.
He says his vision is similar to them in spirit, but not in form. Meaning he respects their vibe, but their actual societal structure isn't up to the standards of the 1,000-year world of heaven.
Exactly. He's carving out a space that is entirely unique and, in his view, vastly superior.
So if he's wiped the slate clean of all the competition, what exactly is he proposing?
Good question.
I mean, if you were reading this pitch at home, trying to decide if you should open your checkbook, you'd want to see the actual blueprint.
And he provides one. He pivots from this lofty cosmic philosophy into a highly rigid, tangible shopping list.
And the requirements are incredibly unyielding. Let's talk about the land itself.
Right. He insists on no less than 60 hectares.
Which is, what, almost 150 acres?
Around there, yeah. And it must be situated near rivers or natural spring water. It cannot just be an empty lot. It has to have a specific ecological baseline.
And the climate requirements.
Oh, the climate.
He demands a year-round spring-like climate with absolutely no intense heat and no severe cold.
He's very firm on that.
He is so painfully specific that he cites 2 exact real-world templates for the weather he requires. He says Harar, Zimbabwe, or Xuefeng, Yunnan in China.
Which is so funny.
It is. Like, why this is obsession with the weather? If you're building a spiritual haven, shouldn't the inner peace matter more than whether or not you need a light jacket in November?
You'd think so, but it actually speaks to the psychology of total environmental control, which is very common in utopian planning.
How so?
Well, if the climate is harsh, the community has to expend massive amounts of energy and resources just to survive.
Oh, like chopping wood or running heating.
Chopping wood, running air conditioning, battling the elements, that distracts from the spiritual mission.
Oh, I see.
A year-round spring eliminates a fundamental layer of earthly suffering, allowing the community to focus entirely on his prescribed values.
Wow. Okay. And he's just as rigid about the people who get to enjoy this eternal spring.
Very rigid.
He states he plans to select exactly 300 people to participate in constructing and living in this community. Not roughly 300. Exactly 300.
And a very diverse 300.
Yeah, he wants a multitude of nationalities, cultures, races, and faiths, all unified by core values. Sincerity, kindness, beauty, love, faith, honesty, peace, and joy.
It sounds lovely.
It does. But to make this multicultural, perfect weather utopia happen, he drops the actual price tag.
Yes, the financial reality of heaven on earth.
Here's where it gets really interesting.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
He announces that he needs exactly $1 million US.
Yep.
And my absolute favorite detail in the entire document, he follows up the request for $1 million by stating he also critically needs, quote, local governmental permits.
It's so good.
I burst out laughing when I read that. It is such a jarring, hilarious paradox.
It really is.
Here's a man who claims to be an emissary from a higher cosmic dimension, establishing the ultimate sanctuary for humanity. And he is still acutely aware that he needs to get his municipal zoning paperwork approved by the local county clerk.
Right. It is amusing, but if we connect this to the bigger picture, it's actually the most profound insight into his psychology in the entire letter.
How do you mean?
That demand for local governmental permits traces directly back to the rubble of his first 9 Xanadus. The Cosmic Guide learned a very hard earthly lesson. You can have the purest intentions, the most divine backing, and $1 million in the bank. But if you ignore the bureaucratic machinery of the state, they will bring in the bulldozers.
Wow. So he's a prophet who has learned the deep spiritual importance of regulatory compliance.
Exactly. It grounds a purely spiritual vision in extreme pragmatism.
That's fascinating.
He even provides a list of Baidu's search terms, his personal WeChat, and his Facebook details to make it incredibly easy for anyone to help him secure these permits.
Or wire the funds.
Exactly. It's highly accessible.
But just as you're lulled into this accessible, pragmatic vision of 300 people enjoying year-round spring,
The turn.
yeah, the document pulls a rug out from under you. Because if you're reading this at home, the demand for $1 million might make your scam radar go off.
Natural.
You might think, well, I'll just wait and see how the first year goes before I invest.
Right.
And Xuefeng knows human nature is to delay. So he has to create overwhelming urgency.
And he does this with a brutal, dark pivot.
It's intense.
He completely abandons all talk of peace, joy, and eternal spring, and declares that the next decade is a matter of literal life and death.
It is total tonal whiplash. He hits the reader with terrifying biblical prophecies of doom.
Oh, yeah.
He says the global climate is going to become violently volatile. We are going to face massive droughts, catastrophic floods, and hurricanes.
Which, ironically, makes his desire for a year-round spring climate make a lot more sense.
It really does. And he predicts extremes of intense heat and severe cold. He throws in fires, water disasters.
And actual literal plagues.
Yes, plagues of insects and pestilence, like
Yeah.
straight out of the Old Testament.
He is tapping into very real modern anxieties about climate change and social instability, but he's amplifying them to an apocalyptic frequency.
Right.
He traces out the secondary effects of these environmental disasters, warning of complete societal collapse. According to his text, the number of global refugees is going to grow geometrically.
And when those refugees start moving, he paints a picture of absolute cutthroat chaos.
Pure chaos.
He warns that people will be forced into intense competition just for basic survival resources.
Food, water, shelter.
Exactly. Conflicts are going to explode on every level. Between states, between interest groups, between religious and political factions, right down to warfare between patriarchal clans.
Every single day, he says, will be a contest between life and death.
So what does this all mean? It's like a hybrid of a life insurance sales pitch and a doomsday lifeboat scenario.
That's a very apt comparison.
I mean, the tonal whiplash is just intense, going from discussing a diverse community of peace, joy, and year-round spring to warning of plagues, resource wars, and everything turning to ash.
This is the engine that drives the entire solicitation.
The fear.
Yes. If you look at the history of visionary movements or doomsday groups, you almost always find this duality. The promise of heaven, the carrot, is very rarely enough on its own to spur someone to empty their bank account.
Oh, because they can just wait.
Right. To overcome human inertia, the visionary must pair the promise of an earthly heaven with the immediate visceral threat of an earthly hell. He needs the stick.
Wow. It's like a hostage negotiation. But the negotiator is the one holding the gun to the entire planet's head.
Pretty much.
He's saying, pay me $1 million to build this bunker, or the locusts and the water wars will get you.
Right.
Which brings us to his ultimate financial demand. He looks directly at you, the reader, and delivers the final blow. He says what you have now will soon crumble to smoke and ashes.
So don't hold on to it.
Exactly. He says it is better to dedicate your offerings to him right now as formless alms to secure a livable future.
And he promises inconceivable returns.
He does. But wait, let's talk about that phrase. He calls these donations formless alms. What exactly does that mean?
Well, formless alms is a brilliant piece of spiritual framing.
How so?
In many religious traditions, giving an alms is a charitable donation, right?
Right.
But by calling it formless, he is stripping away the expectation of a transactional return.
Oh, like a receipt.
Exactly. If you invest in a real estate development, you expect a deed, a title, a return on investment. Formless alms imply that the act of giving itself is the spiritual reward.
So you don't get equity in the paradise.
No. It is a one-way transfer of wealth wrapped in divine armor. He extracts the financial resources he needs to build his physical paradise while insulating himself from the legal or moral obligations of a traditional business contract.
That is wild.
But, like you said, to sweeten the deal, he does promise those inconceivable returns in the form of a livable future.
So you aren't buying a plot of land. You are buying a ticket onto the ark before the floodwaters rise.
Right.
And if you don't buy the ticket, your money is going to burn anyway when society collapses. It is an incredibly aggressive, multi-layered psychological trap.
It is. And it demands absolute, unquestioning faith in both his utopian blueprint and his apocalyptic prophecy. They cannot exist without each other.
Man, well, we've covered so much ground today, and the duality of this document is just staggering.
It truly is.
I mean, we started with a man claiming cosmic authority, whose earthly resume consists of building 9 literal Xanadus only to watch them get demolished.
Yep.
We walked through his meticulous, almost obsessive plan to try again. He carves out a niche by rejecting every other eco-village.
He demands 60 hectares.
Exactly 300 people.
And a perfectly temperate climate.
Right. And finally, we saw how that peaceful blueprint is driven entirely by the desperate urgency of impending fiery doom.
It is a masterclass in the rhetoric of intentional communities. He balances the infinite and the municipal, the utopian and the apocalyptic all, to convince the reader to part with $1 million.
Which brings me back to you, listening to this right now. I want you to think about how you would react if this letter landed on your desk.
Would it work on you?
Right. Does the extreme specificity of it all, like the demand for exactly 60 hectares, exactly 300 people, the precise climate of Harar, does that make a utopian pitch feel more convincing to you?
Does it feel real?
Yeah, does it make it feel like a grounded project rather than just a pipe dream? Or does that sudden violent pivot to doom, gloom, and plagues of locusts make you immediately wary of the messenger?
It's a tough call. And this raises an important question, I think.
Oh.
One that goes beyond just evaluating a solicitation. Let's say Xuefeng's prophecy is completely accurate.
Right.
Let's say you did wire the money, you secured the local permits, and you successfully built this perfect, walled-off 60-hectare paradise with 299 other people, totally isolated from the collapse.
Right, you made it inside the gates.
Exactly. Could you truly experience the peace and joy he promises inside those walls, knowing that the rest of humanity is fighting cutthroat survival wars in the smoke and ashes right outside your gates?